As someone who once stood firmly in support of Biden, but now finds myself planning to vote for RFK Jr., the current dynamics surrounding the 2024 presidential election have piqued my interest. Residing in a Democratic stronghold surrounded by fellow Democrats, the stark absence of political discourse is impossible to ignore. Recalling the palpable excitement leading up to the 2020 election, there was an undeniable buzz in the air, with many anticipating a significant transition from the Trump administration to Biden's leadership. However, as we approach the 2024 election, that enthusiasm has waned, replaced by a noticeable silence. It's as if everyone is collectively holding their breath, hoping to bypass the election without further embarrassment or disappointment. The lack of enthusiasm for Biden and the Democratic agenda amongst my peers is striking, and it's reminiscent of the disbelief expressed by Republican voters in conservative regions following the Biden victory in 2020. They insisted that they didn't know a single person who would have voted for Biden. So how could the rest of the nation lean that direction? Well, it was a sentiment that myself and my friends and coworkers simply ignored as the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Now, the silence within my circle echoes that sentiment as well, albeit from a different perspective. There's a distinct absence of advocacy for Biden's policies or discussions about the importance of the Democratic platform. In what should be a pivotal election, apathy seems to have taken hold. To go back in time, nobody I know is openly excited to vote for Biden. So, I have a hard time believing that he'll win. Equally telling is the subdued reaction to news concerning Trump. In years past, any legal or political setback that Trump would have been met with, well, that would have caused jubilation amongst the circles of friends that I frequent. A bond for $500 million would have been met with cheers. They would have clamored for a view of Trump sitting in a courtroom with his lawyers. However, the prevailing indifference now suggests a broader shift in focus, one that's more directed towards pressing societal issues and governance challenges. To be frank, nobody in my circle cares about Trump's legal issues anymore. That's crazy. Going back 4 years, you never would have thought that. You see, the silence tells us a lot. And what it's telling me is that quite a few people are grappling with a new reality. A reality where conflicts are breaking out throughout the world. A reality where local stores are being ransacked by flash mobs. A reality where our leadership cannot openly admit that our wide open border is absolutely a national security issue. A reality that our food costs too much, housing is unattainable, and the corporate kleptocracy is out of control. You see, we are all grappling with the idea that we probably made the wrong choice in 2020, and we are the ones who are to blame for all that is going on around us. It's a harsh reality to consider, and one that keeps so many of us silent. Poll after poll keeps showing a tight race between Biden and Trump. Frankly, I have a hard time believing it. In 2016, polls left little doubt that Hillary Clinton was going to win, but obviously, they were very wrong. In 2020, polls showed that Biden had a staggering lead over Trump, but the actual results were razor thin. You see, I believe that there are a tremendous amount of people in this nation who are afraid to openly admit that they want Trump to win. His brazen attitude and ego are off-putting to some, myself included. So, the social pressure is to openly dislike him, but secretly support his policies. As a result, I don't believe that these polls are accurate at all. I don't think that they reflect the citizenry of this nation once they get the opportunity to make a choice in the secrecy of a voting booth. While my personal inclination is to lean towards RFK Jr., I anticipate that the contest between Trump and Biden will not be as close as projected. The prevailing silence suggests a silent majority is prepared to leverage their vote to influence support for Trump. Regardless of any misgivings about his character, I think their silence says they're headed that way. Ultimately, the 2024 election promises to be a momentous event in American politics where the whispers of silence may indeed speak louder than the clamor of their voices.